If you want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. You will likely hear a welcoming automated voice from a generous digital monitor at Wendy's drive-thru, and that may unlock some fatter profits and a beefier stock price for the square burger seller. Wendy's will officially roll out an automated drive-thru in June at a company-owned spot in its home market of Columbus, Ohio. The digital ordering screen will be powered by natural language software cooked up by Google. Google's software is designed to understand how consumers order from the menu, meaning it stands to make compelling suggestions to buy more. That's better known. The technology will also go a long way to improving food quality at Wendy's and drive-through times, which may prove to be welcome news to hungry, hurried fast food diners. Wendy's will probably look to automate more of its drive-throughs to keep pace with technological changes in generative AI and an evolution in how diners are interacting with the Frosty King. Koeniger is bullish on the potential, of course. He said the company is thinking through how to make a smarter digital menu board connected to Wendy's loyalty program, create more personalized menus, and get consumers to trade up their purchases. Now, this is something of the same of which I've mentioned before. I've showed videos and stated the reasons why it is that you have a lot of these companies. They're going to start going more and more towards AI because it's cheaper, it's easier, it's cost effective, and it's going to up the profits. That's the main thing that they want to do. They want to up the profits for the shareholders, for the people who own the stocks, everything like that, right? And to basically cut everybody else out. Now, when it first begins, everybody, everyday people, they're not really going to care, right? But once it starts getting to a mass amount where you start to see Burger King, when you start to see Wendy's, when you start to see churches, many other restaurants, right? And you pull up to the scene and you're ordering your food, and then you go directly to the first window, there's nobody there. So then you put in your money and then it gives you back your change or what have you. Then you'll pull up to the next window. Again, there's not going to be anybody there. And you will see your order come down a chute with the drink and with the food. That's what people are going to start to see. That's what people are going to start to grow accustomed to. And like I said before in the beginning, people aren't really going to have an issue, but people slowly but surely are going to start to have that issue because being able to see another person, being able to sometimes have a conversation, different things like that, it'll start to wear and it'll start to warp the mind because that's um, one type of social interaction that we have on an everyday basis, whether if it's at the bank, whether if it's at the grocery store, if it's at the gas station, your local convenience store, or a drive-through restaurant. Later on, you will start to see the influx of people not being able to find readily easy jobs. Even when it comes to the point of kids being in high school, right? These were the main jobs that everybody's seen throughout, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, the 2000s. Kids that were in school, they would work at a restaurant. That would be, their very first job, right? 14, 16, 18. They would do that. Now that's not going to be the case. You already saw what started taking place in a lot of restaurants where they have the digital boards where you go up to the board as soon as you come directly into the door, about what, 9 to 10 feet or whatnot directly in front of you. You have this digital board. Now you have an option. You can go directly to the digital board and you can order your food, and then you will receive your receipt directly right there, and then they'll call your number, and there you go, right? Which is pretty easy, pretty straightforward, pretty simple, no fuss, no muss. Or you can go up to the register and look directly up at the menu, as we've always done since restaurants were created, and you can converse with another human being, having that human interaction, right? You got those two choices. But one of the main things that has been taking place is the fact that you have rude customers. And there's always been this policy of that the customer is always right. And there's far too many times that customers have been wrong 100%. And you've seen the things that customers have decided to do. Some people have decided that they wanted to go into the restaurant. They want to fight the cashier. They want to fight the cook. They want to fight the person at the drive-through. You see how people want to get out of their cars when they're angry about their order, and they want to go through and they want to start taking the food that they felt that they ordered, or however it is, or they want to try to threaten the people that work in the establishment going behind the counter, right? And we've seen all types of craziness, all different types of scenarios. And the main things that I've tried to tell people is that the things that are taking place were already going to happen. It's the normal course when it comes to technology, when it comes to evolution of a multitude of different facets in life. But a lot of these things, people, consumers have brought directly on themselves. It wasn't too long ago that a lot of consumers stated that whenever it is that they came into a market, they got frustrated with the cashier, they got frustrated with the bagger, they got frustrated with the store, they got frustrated with the manager. No matter where you look, if there was a human being, they got frustrated. And you started hearing more and more people like, I would just start installing the computers, just start installing the computers. I would rather just deal with the computers versus having to sit up there and look at you, or to have to talk to you at the cash register, or have these conversations. So now that's what they did. So now you have Walmart that have the self checkout. And Walmart, if you go, whenever you happen to go into a Walmart, make sure you look above the self checkout. You'll see like 20, 30, 40 different cameras in that one area, because they're watching you at every single angle. Because now it's not a human being that can mess up, right? And that could potentially lose their job. It's you. So instead of a human being being at the cash register and messing up, right? And the manager be like, you know what, ma'am, we're sorry, yada, yada, yada. Now it's you doing the self checkout. So now if you mess up, they're going to tally that up because they know that you're going to keep coming back to this Walmart and, keep patronizing, the store. So as they keep tallying that up, they're making a list. And once that list gets to a little bit too high, they notice that it's an increase or an uptick, and you missed that. Now they're going to get the people on you. Now you're going to be facing some time. Now you got a record. And like I said, I'm a tech type of guy. I love tech because I know the positive things that can take place. I know where it can basically take human beings and the many different things that can stem from it. But I can also see the negative. And I know what could potentially happen if you have to deal with greedy individuals that solely want to do things from a greed standpoint and not from a standpoint of the people, of actually caring, of trying to progress certain positive things for the future. So now we are at that time where we're at the beginning. I told people a while ago about the I'm sorry, not super, about the hypermarkets. Hypermarkets are markets that are completely automated. There's very few workers directly in those markets. If there are workers, then those are people that are more than likely working during the night, who will come into the store and they will restock the items, or maybe they might have a morning shift or something or other. But usually they will have people working directly at the door just to check the receipt real quick. And there you have it. Again, these are automated. They're hooked up directly to your bank account, right? And this is also going to further link into the CBDCs, which I told people before that you need to start looking up. And like I said, all of these things are linked. It's in preparation for a, larger system or transition that is going to take place. But again, as I've commonly stated before, I'm just going to mention it, every so often. But I'll really start talking about it when mainstream media informs everybody of what it is that is going on, because at that moment in time, that's when people tend to believe stuff and they're like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. I'm glad they're talking about this. So the moment in time that mainstream starts really pushing it, the moment in time that the government really starts pushing it, you'll start seeing me do some more videos, you know, directly on it. So again, hopefully, people are taking out the time out of their day whenever it is that they're, going through social media, and they are researching a lot of the things that are taking place, not just in this government, but in the governments across the world, along with the things that are getting passed, right? On top of the things that they've tried, right? To implement at a point in time that they are going to bring back and re-implement in another way, shape, or form.